Continuing coverage now, a new twist in a case that we've been following for months. You may remember Chief Investigative Reporter Eric Ross obtained exclusive video showing an El Paso County Sheriff's lieutenant arresting a man and making up a crime that never happened. That lieutenant ultimately resigned in the middle of an administrative review into his actions. But as Chief Investigative Reporter Eric Ross has now uncovered, he's still collecting taxpayer money after leaving the force.
After Lieutenant Huffor resigned, we discovered he and his wife, who still works at the El Paso County Sheriff's Office, bought a pet store together. And just a few weeks later, records show the Sheriff's Office all of a sudden stopped buying canine dog food at Big R and gave the business to the Huffors. Now, some of you might push aside the potential nepotism and conflict of interest here if the switch in canine food vendors was saving taxpayers money. But our investigation found it's actually costing you more. Lieutenant Bill Huffor resigned from the sheriff's office not long after a video surfaced of him appearing to abuse his power to make an arrest.
If I'd assaulted him, I deserved it, but I didn't assault him.
We spoke with Tony Twist, who was arrested for felony assault last year, a case which the DA's office ultimately tossed out. So what exactly did Tony do? One night, when he noticed an unmarked SUV parked outside his daughter's bedroom window, he came outside with a flashlight to investigate. That's when Tony says Lieutenant Huffor got out of the car and demanded his ID, although no crime had been committed. Huffor eventually arrested Tony, claiming his flashlight caused him instant pain, a headache, and disoriented him. But Huffor's version of events appear, let's just say, slightly exaggerated, because at no time did we see Lieutenant Huffor appear disoriented or call for medical attention. Now that you have the backstory, here's a step-by-step timeline of what we know occurred. The arrest happened back on August 31st, 2020. On September 3rd, we reached out to the sheriff's office for comment about what we uncovered. A few days later, on September 7th, the sheriff's office told us the incident was now under administrative review. On November 6th, we confirmed Lieutenant Huffor resigned from the force. And just 2 days later, on November 8th, Sheriff Bill Elder goes on Facebook to publicize that Lieutenant Huffor and his wife Janet, the current chief of staff for the El Paso County Sheriff's Office, became owners of Furry Friends Incorporated on Woodman and Rangewood in Colorado Springs. Then on November 18th, records show Lieutenant Huffor bills the sheriff's office for dog food. You may find this odd because prior to the Huffors taking ownership of Furry Friends, the El Paso County Sheriff's Office never did business with them. Invoices obtained by News 5 Investigates for all of 2020 show the Sheriff's Office always bought dog food from Big R in Peyton. Then all of a sudden stopped when Huffor and his wife took over Furry Friends. And we discovered the switch is costing taxpayers more. Here's the evidence. In May 2020, Big R billed the sheriff's office $359.92 for 8 bags of Victor High Pro Plus dog food. Big R invoices from July and September show the same amount of dog food purchased, this time at a reduced rate of $351.92 for each order. Then on November 18th, the sheriff's office started purchasing the same type and same amount of dog food from Huffor's business, this time paying nearly $380. We reached out to the sheriff's office, asking to speak with Sheriff Elder about this alleged case of nepotism and why the sheriff's office would stop buying dog food from a different vendor that saves taxpayers money. A spokesperson replied via email, saying purchases of this amount for any vendor do not rise to the level of the sheriff's knowledge, nor would it need his approval. Therefore, there is no need for you to sit down with him. The spokesperson later clarified by saying the sheriff was not aware of this purchase until they received our open records request. And we're told purchases like this are made by the canine sergeant, not Sheriff Elder directly. The sheriff's office also says dog food is purchased on an as-needed basis, costing about $1,400 to $1,500 each year, and there is no vendor contract, meaning if the sheriff's office no longer wants to do business with Big R, they don't have to. Now, we got this story through a viewer news tip, so as always, if you have a problem or issue you'd like our News 5 Investigates team to look into, call our tip line anytime or send an email to news5investigates@koaa.com. Always watching out for you and your taxpayer money, I'm Chief Investigative Reporter Eric Ross.